My name is Maribel, and I was born in Cuba. And I'm going to be telling you 5 things, the 5 top things that you should know before you go to Cuba. So, but before we get into that, I'm going to tell you my story. So, um, just a little bit, because I'm going to be creating some videos and I'm going to tell you more in details. So, I'm going to tell you what it is to grow up in communism. I'm going to tell you what it is to grow up under a dictatorship government. I grew up not knowing what Coca-Cola, or a good steak, lobster, or going shopping, or, just getting free gifts in Christmas. That didn't happen. Okay, that didn't happen. We ate whatever was available. I ate a lot of Russian meat. I don't know if you ever seen, those of us here in USA, we're familiar with the kind of tuna. You open the can, you eat the tuna, and you make sandwiches. It was like that, but it was Russian meat. Where it came from? Russia, I imagine. We had easy access to that, so we ate a lot of that. Because a neighbor worked for the government and had access to that kind of Russian meat, so he gave it to us. But we didn't grow up knowing what it is to go shopping for Christmas and opening Christmas gifts. And I'm going into all those details in some videos. And coming up, I'm going to be creating videos regarding that, more into how we dealt with it growing up. I left when I was 15 years old to the United States on a boat, on a 21-foot boat. But I'll get more into those details later on because it's a little lengthy and it's going to take a little bit of time. I'm just going to create a series of videos for that, okay? Now, the top 5 things that I think that you should definitely know before you go visit Cuba, okay? No specific order of importance, just 5 things you should know. And I'm just putting a number on them because just to give them in order. But they're all important, okay? The one thing that I think you should know is learn some words that you can communicate a little bit. Commonly used words that you can, hola, ¿cómo estás? Hello, how are you? Gracias, thank you. De nada, you're welcome. Things like that. That will get you through. And it's a bunch more, but it's nice to know. Not just for Cuba, for any Hispanic speaking country, Spanish speaking country. So you could know that. And I'm going to create some videos on that, a little more fun, to teach you some words. Now, the other thing that you should definitely know is that Cuba is a dictatorship. Cuba is communist. Not just communist because it's communist. And communist, it started from socialism and then became communism. No, it's a dictatorship. You cannot speak your mind. You cannot say, the president is an idiot. You cannot say anything that's against the government. You cannot say, I want more food, complain. No, you cannot. You cannot, okay? So, it's just, there's no human rights. Cuban people have no human rights. Okay, United Nations knows this. There've been several hundreds and thousands of complaints recorded and and told to United Nations about these atrocities that are made and done in Cuba to the people that complain, okay, that are not in agreement with the government. They have no human rights. Okay. And number three, I will put, like I mentioned, when people have no human rights, they can protest, right? So when they protest and they're not in agreement with the government, they go to jail. They get tortured, they get killed, they get electroshocked, okay? And eventually they said, oh, you were crazy talking now on the internet about Cuba when you are in Cuba. There was a case of a black gentleman that he was speaking against the government, and he was speaking out on the internet and letting the world know what was going on. And that person got, picked up. It was put in a crazy house, a psychiatric ward, and he got electroshocked. No one ever heard again from that guy. Okay? So people disappear. And that has been happening since the regime took over in 1959. People get picked up and they get disappeared. So number two, it's going to be when you go to Cuba and you're going to take a tour, obviously you're going to visit the touristic areas, right? Well, the tourists go. Everything is going to be real pretty, clean. You're going to be able to eat whatever you want to eat because you're not Cuban. You're a tourist. Even if I go there now, I'm Cuban, I will lose my human rights. I don't have rights. Okay? My American passport doesn't mean anything. If anything was to happen to me there, it doesn't mean anything. I become just another Cuban without rights. However, because I got money, right? I got money, I can go and eat anywhere I want. That my people, my Cuban people there, cannot. They cannot. Because they just simply can't afford it. It's an extreme price that only tourists can afford. It's really that simple. Okay? And then they can buy at the grocery store like we do because it's an extreme price. So right now, there's hardly any food available that they can buy. Okay? So let's say you take tours. The tour guide is being watched by an undercover government agent. So when you ask a question to this tour guide, that could be a very direct regarding the government or regarding the truth, that tour guide cannot and will not tell you the truth because he or she could lose their job or worse. Okay? Because it's being watched by an undercover government agent. So I want you to understand that because when you go to Cuba and you visit as an agent, as a tourist, the tour guy is not going to be able to tell the truth, and you're going to think, wow, that tour guy was kind of rude, or that doesn't make sense to me because you caught on something. That's why. That's why. Because they can't tell the truth. Okay? So that's important to know. And I think the number one thing that I would put on there, and again, there's no specific order of importance, but to me, I think this is really important for you to know because most people don't know. Most people just simply don't know. The money that you spend in Cuba, because people think, well, I'm going to go to Cuba to help the people, right? I travel there, it's tourism. I spend money at the hotel, my airfare, my whatever I spend there, and I'm helping the people in Cuba, right? Wrong. None of that money goes to the Cuban people. Not one penny. Nothing. Zero. The government stays with everything. The only thing the only money that could go to the people is if you specifically give it to the person, right? Then there's a whole series of rules and regulations that why do you have $1 on you? Because you have to go change it for whatever currency they have. Now it's pesos. There was used to be something called chavitos or something. It's just they just do things like that. They change the currency, now and then, because communist people and the dictatorship government, they do it on purpose, so it doesn't get stabilized. So people are always dealing and willing to find a way to pay for things. Okay, so I want you to understand, when you take a cruise, okay, that they charge you some extra amount of money per person to take a cruise to Cuba. None of that goes to the people. When you go to Cuba, it doesn't go to people. They don't see a penny of that money. So this is important to know. So everybody out there that wants to go and visit Cuba, go for it. It's your decision. I just want you to know some of the truth about Cuba. And I'm going to be bringing some videos with more details and more stories from Cuba, so you can see and know what it is that I'm talking about and I'm trying to let people know. Okay? My name is Maribel. Like if you thought that this video brought some, some important information to you, something of value to you, hit that like button and hit the subscribe and notification so you can get notified when I bring the next videos. I'm going to be bringing videos regarding Spanish words and my story. When I came on that boat, that 21-foot boat with my sister, I was 15, she was 11. And, the whole ordeal and everything, how it is. And I'm going to be bringing some stories of what's happened in the past with the government, so you know how it is. I hope you like this video, and I hope that I'll see you again. Cuba Libre. Freedom for Cuba. See you.